Luke Evans.
Thank you, Chair, and it's a pleasure to serve under your stewardship, and even more of a pleasure to be involved in this debate, and I must thank wholeheartedly the member for Rugby for securing this debate. I must admit, when I came down to Parliament, I never thought one of the things I would become most passionate about is a road. But it's working with my colleagues, and two of them who can't be here, the MP for North Warwickshire and the MP for Nuneaton, who also inspire me in their work that they've done to drive forward why this road is so important. So over the next few minutes, I'm fortunately for some of those listening, I am going to repeat some of the points that are made, but they're so crucial to why this road matters, why we care, and why we need this both locally and the UK needs it. We know the road runs from Wales to London, and I too want to focus on the A5 corridor, the middle part, because it's the most important part. It is the heart of the logistics side. It is the connection from east to west, from the East Midlands to the west of the Midlands. And unfortunately, it is acting as a straitjacket to our economic growth and prosperity. Because if we get this road right, we'll have housing, businesses, growth, levelling up, and above all, happiness. This is one of the few roads you get people coming to you saying, please sort it out. This would make my life better. Not only for their job prospects, for their business prospects, their commute and their daily living. That is why this road is so important. That's why I wanted to speak about the section between Cannock Chase to Rugby that intersects across Hinckley and Bosworth. Because if we get it right, there's a real chance to make a difference. So why it matters? Well, as we've heard, the A5 corridor covers 1 million people. It supports over almost 500,000 jobs, which is 10% of the jobs in the Midlands. We know that there are 25,000 vehicles on its busiest sections, and that 1/3 of those vehicles using the A5 are classified as HGVs. Now, as we've heard, local authorities are planning for over 100,000 new houses and 190,000 new jobs to be created by 2033. And we need the infrastructure to be able to deliver that. Which leads us on to the economic importance, which my colleague from Rugby has rightly pointed out, the GVA of £22 billion, which is 10% of the Midlands Connect area, a substantial amount. But I'd like to add some further facts to that, because on the corridor, 38% of the jobs are within the economic sector that rely on the strategic network. And 185,000 jobs, which is equivalent to 11% of the jobs in the region, are reliant on the strategic network. This is a huge amount when it comes to joining up the Midlands. But the problem? The resilience and the reliability. A critical incident, as defined by the Highways Agency, happens every 8 weeks. When it happens, there's an average of 5-hour delay to get it resolved. And in my constituency, 15% of these incidents happen when our bridges hit, the Watling Street bridge. Unfortunately, last year, the most bashed bridge in Britain. Now, we've relinquished that title. We are now 6th. But this was happening every 2 weeks. And when it happens, there's a 6-hour delay on average to clear it. What this means is misery and suffering for those around, but also in the villages around our area, where the congestion goes out because people look for rat runs to beat their sat-nav to move through our constituency. And this has a real problem because those roads aren't designed to deal with the HGVs and the extra traffic that comes from such a delay. Now, when it comes to actually the road functioning itself, well, it doesn't even do that very well. The corridor is slow and unreliable. The average speed for the corridor is 40 miles per hour, but in some sections, it gets down to 10 miles per hour at the peak. And Midlands Connect have said there is up to a 20 mile per hour difference between the fastest and slowest journey times, making it challenging for users to plan their journey, and does not meet the Midlands Connect reliability condition output that journey times should not be more than 20% higher than the average journey time for all days. So that's why it matters. But why do we care about it? Well, we care because we feel this road is forgotten. Many of my colleagues who precede me, both in my position where I sit in Hinckley and Bosworth, but also the colleagues who can't be here today, have talked and raised this in the House many a time. The MP for Nuneaton has raised the Dodswell and Longshoot junctions about its capacity and safety at the Longshoot and the Woodford Lane. The MP for North Warwickshire has campaigned tirelessly about congestion and how, if we get this road sorted, we can increase housing. The A5 Partnership, the Midlands Connect, the businesses, the County Council, the Borough Council, from all colours, have come together and said why this road is important. And it's sometimes felt that we're not heard. And that was compounded in August 2021, when the long-awaited Dodswell Island to Longshoot dual carriageway, promised in 2014, was scrapped. To the people of Hinckley and Bosworth and surround, this felt like a body blow. But we pledged to fight on, and there is light at the end of the tunnel, because we were lucky enough to secure £20 million to be in RIS 2, and now looking to be in RIS 3. And the light at the end of the tunnel was because the assessment was made it wouldn't be efficient use of taxpayers' money. To me, that reads that if there's going to be an improvement, that would be right not to spend it on that section, if we get the dualling that we all require on the 53 miles that we're looking for. I've mentioned the most bashed bridge in Britain, but I come back to it again because it does create misery, and for years this has been raised up, and signage has been talked about and alternative routes. We're finally getting closer to an answer of lowering the road to get it sorted. I'm grateful for all the agencies working to put this in place. But if that fails and the A5 doesn't go through, our community feels stranded and forgotten about again. Because it matters to the people about getting to work, their kids to school, improving their journey times, improving their ability to get to their businesses, to recruit more people, to sell more goods, to join one side of the country to the other. That's why it matters. But it matters more because the people around suffer the effects of this road not working, the wider communities, when people cut through the likes of Twycross. And we've had many an injury and death on some of the roads around my constituency through people having to navigate a different road and not understanding where they're going. This leads to speeding, deterioration in the road, and concern that our countryside can't cope. So what do we need? Well, locally we need the dualling and the upgrade as soon as possible. I'm hopeful that in RIS 3, the ministerial point 1 will carry on through to a ministerial decision point 2 that will allow us to go ahead, and there will be an improvement in the road. But more importantly, what I hope will come from this is all roads, this is a Roman road, doesn't lead to road, it leads to London and Westminster. And Westminster needs to hear that the people around the A5, that million people, are saying we need this improvement. We need this straitjacket removing. We need this corset loosening so that we can level up both in our ability to produce housing, prosperity, jobs, and happiness. Minister, release the corset and let us be happy. Well done.